Hi everyone, my name is Lauren and I'm a registered dietitian with Rock Valley Health. Today we're going to be talking about fueling your core and a variety of nutrition tips to support your pelvic floor health. So, why does nutrition matter when it comes to pelvic floor health? So, healthy nutrition strategies can help manage conditions like constipation, having urinary urgency or frequency, any kind of pelvic floor discomfort, and it can help support the overall functioning of your pelvic floor muscles. Your bowel and bladder habits actually directly affect your pelvic floor, so even making small dietary changes can make a big difference. So, hydration is key when it comes to your pelvic floor health. Plain water is going to be the best choice. You want to aim for 64 ounces or 8 cups of fluid every day. And staying healthfully hydrated prevents dehydration and helps dilute your urine. And we want to try to drink healthy fluids consistently throughout the day and avoid drinking large amounts all at once to help manage urinary frequency. And you might think it's actually best to drink less fluids because of bladder symptoms, but this can actually make those symptoms worse. So if you're dehydrated, that actually causes more concentrated urine, which can lead to even more bladder irritation and increased urinary urgency and frequency. Fiber is a key nutrient to help support your pelvic floor health. It helps support healthy bowel function, and fiber is really beneficial to help prevent constipation. However, you want to increase your fiber and your water intake slowly. So, to do this, you can think of trying to get an additional 5 grams of fiber in your diet every few days. We don't want to have a ton of fiber all at once to help minimize uncomfortable digestive symptoms that can occur from having too much fiber all at once. So, ideally, your long term goal for fiber intake should be 25 grams per day for women and 38 grams per day for men. So, fiber sources and things you can include in your diet include fruits and vegetables, whole grains, nuts, seeds, and beans. And fiber supplements are also another option if you don't think you're getting enough fiber from whole foods. There are a variety of fiber supplements on the market, but it can be tricky to know which one to choose. So, fiber supplements are available in both powders and capsules. You want to make sure you take it 2 hours before or after medications to make sure it doesn't interact with anything. You want to drink 8 ounces of water with each dose of the fiber supplement, whether it's a powder or a capsule. I prefer the powders a little bit more because you can mix them with water and that helps support those your hydration status and minimizes those uncomfortable digestive symptoms from having a lot of fiber at once. So, with these fiber supplements, you want to start at a lower dose, then gradually increase it. So, an example could be having a serving of the capsules just once per day to start out with, or just having 1 teaspoon of the powder mixed with water per day, and just gradually increasing that amount every few days to what the recommended serving size is on the package. And psyllium husk specifically, that's what's in Metamucil, or it can be sold on its own in powders or capsules as shown below. Psyllium husk is a really great fiber source to help with constipation. It does help absorb water into your gut, which increases the bulk of your stools and helps to trigger bowel movements. In addition to having healthy hydration and getting enough fiber in your diet, there's some different foods that can also help support your pelvic floor muscles. So, anti inflammatory foods, such as foods that are a part of the Mediterranean diet, are really great to support any pelvic floor discomfort where a lot of inflammation can be present. So, you want to focus on things like leaner meats, like chicken, turkey, and fish, those whole grains like whole grain pastas, whole grain breads, fruits and vegetables, and healthy fats like nuts, olive oil, and avocado. And limiting red meat and sources of added sugar can also be beneficial to minimize inflammation. Probiotics are actually also beneficial for your pelvic floor health. Probiotics help support healthy gut bacteria and help support bowel regularity, as well as supporting fecal incontinence and any kind of diarrhea. And having a healthy level of these probiotics in your gut may help minimize the frequency of UTIs. And most people get probiotics from yogurt, so that could be something you could try to get into your diet more often. And it's also available in supplement forms. I would recommend talking to your doctor to see which one would work best for you. But there are a couple different strains like lactobacillus and bifidobacterium that have a lot of research that they work well to move past the acidity of your stomach to start really working well in your digestive system and seeing those benefits from that. And getting enough protein is really important for your pelvic floor as well to help support healthy muscle function. This is going to be meat, dairy products, eggs, even like protein drinks, bars, and powders. Those kind of convenience items are totally fine to get protein in as well. And magnesium is another great source to support your pelvic floor muscles. These are going to be in foods like whole grains, leafy greens, nuts, dark chocolate, avocado, and fatty fish. And it's important to keep in mind there's two different types of magnesium. Magnesium citrate is a laxative, and then magnesium glycinate can help support sleep and relaxing your central nervous system. To support your pelvic floor health, it's important to know your personal triggers. Everyone is a little bit different. Some people may be more sensitive to certain things, different foods and things like that, that can impact your pelvic floor health. So it's important to note that specific things like caffeine, carbonated beverages, spicy foods, dairy products, gluten, and artificial sweeteners can be potential triggers for your pelvic floor. So it's important to talk to your doctor, and you can always work with a registered dietitian like myself to learn what those personal triggers are. It can be helpful too to instead of eliminating these foods completely, just try to pay attention to patterns like how much caffeine you're having, how often you're having spicy food, so you can try to kind of just minimize the amounts and find a balance that works for you. I do recommend it can be helpful to start a food or symptom journal to specifically start tracking what types of foods cause symptoms so you can identify your personal triggers a little bit more easily. So, some key takeaways for those nutrition strategies to support your pelvic floor. These are things you can start to incorporate in your daily routine. We want to focus on staying hydrated, eating enough fiber, getting enough protein and key nutrients, and identifying those personal food triggers. So, it's important to note that nutrition is just one part of pelvic floor care. It's important to work with your doctor, also a pelvic floor therapist, and a dietitian. These pieces are all encouraged to help make realistic changes to help improve your quality of life when it comes to your pelvic floor health. Thank you for watching. I hope you learned some new nutrition strategies that you can incorporate to help improve your pelvic floor health. If you'd like to work with me as a registered dietitian through Rock Valley Health, I do have my email address on the screen here. You can reach out to me via email. I do see clients at the Five Points Clinic in Davenport and the Avenue of the Cities Clinic in Moline. So these are the phone numbers you can call and reach out to get scheduled with me if you'd like a more individualized session for your pelvic floor health. Thank you for watching and have a great day.